We begin now with the index and valuation. Fortunately or incidentally, we do not have to study the indices from the perspective of financial reporting. We only need to look at these indices from the perspective of the valuation, and therefore we have to understand only those indices which are directly connected with the valuation. And the ones which are directly connected with the valuation, one is impairment of asset, that is index 36, business combination index 103, fair value measurement index 113. So these three standards are directly having a bearing on valuations in one way or the other. As a matter of fact, fair value measurement, which is in index 113, as the name suggests, it is absolutely directly connected with valuation only. So index 113 is all about valuation, all about fair valuation or fair value measurement. You also have index 109. Now index 109, which is on financial instruments. Now if you study this, truly speaking, it is a generic standard that covers the financial instruments in general. And since in case of valuation, you also do the valuation of financial securities, and therefore index 109 will have a bearing to that extent. But in my experience, if you have to study 109, index 109 in totality, to get a gist of it, it will take you considerably long time. And in my experience, it's highly unlikely to have any question coming from index 109. So therefore, in our discussion, we will not cover index 109, because then the whole time will go in covering 109. Input-output ratio will not be favorable, and therefore we will cover only index 36, 103 and 113. Index 109, all of you should study after you have passed the exam. After you have passed the exam, because then it may be of relevance, not from the perspective of the exam. And remember, why do I say this? I say this because our aim is to pass the exam. And for passing the exam, we don't need 100 marks. We don't need 90 marks. We don't need 80 marks. We need just 60 marks. And just to be on the safe side, what we should do, what should be our strategy? Our strategy should be to prepare ourselves so that we are able to secure 75 marks. Not that we really want 75 marks. We want to prepare for 75 marks so that at least we get something much more than 60 and pass the exam comfortably. Because ultimately, input-output ratio plays a very important role. All of us have a limited time, and we have to make use of the time accordingly. And then, of course, friends, we will also understand HABU. HABU is highest and best use. Now, what is HABU? HABU is a way of valuing property. So how will you do the valuation in case of a property? So the method which is prescribed for the valuation of a property is HABU. अब देखो, इसके ऊपर एक क्वेश्चन आने के चांसेस हैं. क्वेश्चन क्या होगा? What is the full form of HABU? And I remember, because I appeared this exam twice, so I remember that HABU, the question was there on both times. What is the full form of HABU? और मैं आपको बताऊं, first time when I wrote the exam, unlike all of you who are quite well prepared, first time when I wrote the exam, believe me, I wrote the exam without any preparation. Absolutely no preparation. Because I said, okay, let me go and make an attempt and see as to where do I stand. And then I realized that I need to do lot of work, before I could really pass that exam. तो उसमें मैंने देखा हाबू के ऊपर क्वेश्चन था. दूसरी बार एग्जाम देने गया तभी भी हाबू के ऊपर क्वेश्चन था. पहली बार जब गया तो मुझे नहीं मालूम था व्हाट इज हाबू. Second time when I went, of course I knew what is HABU. It is highest and the best use. एंड वी विल अंडरस्टैंड एज टू व्हाट इज हाबू. तो आप खाली याद रखिए हाबू हाईएस्ट एंड बेस्ट यूज. यानी कि क्या, यानी कि अगर आप किसी प्रॉपर्टी का वैल्यूएशन कर रहे हो तो उस प्रॉपर्टी का वैल्यूएशन आप किस बेसिस पे करोगे. ऑब्वियसली किसी भी प्रॉपर्टी का वैल्यूएशन किस बेसिस पे करोगे कि इसका हाईएस्ट और बेस्ट यूज क्या है, उसके बेसिस पर आप उसका वैल्यूएशन करोगे, एंड दैट इज हाबू. सो वी विल आल्सो डिस्कस मोर अबाउट द हाबू. So let's start our discussion with the Ind AS 36 on impairment of assets. Now before I move forward, let me ask this question to all of you as to what do you understand by impairment of asset? All of you. Anyone? You know what is impairment of assets? If we have to understand impairment of asset, and remember this knowledge that we are getting about Ind AS 36 is not only relevant for us in valuation, it is also going to be relevant for all of us in case of the financial reporting also. So what is impairment? And what is the objective of Ind AS 36? That is what we need to understand. You have a plant and machinery. You have a plant and machinery, and the carrying amount of this plant and machinery in your books is 100 crore. Is 100 crore. लेकिन for change in the technology or for any other matter and the other reason, if you go and sell this plant and machinery, you will be able to realize only 60 crore. And by use of this plant and machinery, maximum that you will earn in terms of present value is 70 crore. ये जो प्लांट एंड मशीनरी है, अगर आप इसको पूरी लाइफ इसकी जो है उसमें इसको यूज करें टू जनरेट इनकम, प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ दैट इनकम इज 70 crore. प्लीज पे अटेंशन. व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन? सिचुएशन इज कैरिंग अमाउंट इन द बैलेंस शीट इज 100 crore. A realizable amount if you sell of the asset today 60 crores. Value in use, that means if you use this plant and machinery in your operations, generate income over its life, present value of all that income is 70 crore. My question to all of you, is it correct to show this asset in the balance sheet in this situation at 100 crore? Your answer?
No.
No? Okay. So if it is no, then at what amount this asset should be shown in the balance sheet?
70 crores because present value 70 if we sell today.
Correct. 70 crore. Puneet, perfect. Perfect. So what is impairment? And please pay attention.
Between book value and
Impairment is when the carrying amount of an asset is more than higher of realizable value or value in use, there is an impairment. यानी कि जब कोई एसेट की कैरिंग अमाउंट उसकी रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू और उसकी वैल्यू इन यूज़ दोनों में से जो भी ज़्यादा हो उससे ज़्यादा है, दैट मीन्स देयर इज एन इम्पेयरमेंट. तो यहाँ पर क्या है, कैरिंग अमाउंट 100 करोड़ का है और इस एसेट को अगर सेल करने के लिए जाओगे तो 60 करोड़ मिलेगा. एसेट को यूज़ करोगे तो 70 crore मिलेगा. So what is the maximum that you can get out of this asset? It is 70 crore. So that means Ind AS 36 says don't show this asset in the balance sheet at 100 crore. Show this asset in the balance sheet at 70 crore. And the difference of 30 crore, take it to P&L and debit it as impairment cost. That is, friends, is your impairment. Do you follow this, Ankur?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Clearly?
30 crore को हम P&L में ले जाएंगे सर.
30 करोड़ को आप P&L में लेके जाओगे.
And we will show it as an impairment cost.
That you will show as an impairment cost. That you will show as an impairment cost. Okay, so that is your number one. So when does impairment occurs? I think it's clear. What is the carrying amount? It is the amount at which you are showing the asset in the balance sheet. So you can call it carrying amount. You can call it book value of asset. You can call it WDV. You can call it depreciated value. All of them mean the same thing. What is realizable value? Very clear. अगर इस एसेट को आप आज मार्केट में बेचते हो तो मार्केट में बेच के जो आपको पैसा मिलेगा और उसमें से जो एसेट को बेचने के लिए खर्चा किया वो माइनस करने के बाद जो आपके हाथ में बचा, दैट इज़ योर रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू और नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू, NRV, नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू. वैल्यू इन यूज़, अगर आप इस एसेट को यूज़ करते हो और इनकम जनरेट करते हो ओवर इस लाइफ, उस इनकम की प्रेजेंट वैल्यू क्या है? दैट इज वैल्यू इन यूज. अंकुर, डू यू गेट दिस?
Yes sir.
ओके, एंड पुनीत?
Yes sir.
ठीक है ना. देखो, किसी एसेट की वैल्यू इन यूज का मतलब क्या है? वैल्यू इन यूज का मतलब वेरी सिंपल, इस एसेट को यूज करके मुझे कितनी वैल्यू मिलेगी, दैट इज वैल्यू इन यूज. यानी कि अगर ये जो एसेट है मेरे पास, अगर मैं इसको इस्तेमाल करता हूँ इन माय बिजनेस और इससे इनकम जनरेट करता हूँ, प्रॉफिट जनरेट करता हूँ, कैश जनरेट करता हूँ और समझो ये 10 साल तक चलेगी एसेट. सो 10 साल में जो कैश जनरेट करूँगा उसकी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू कितनी हो रही है टोटल मिला के, दैट इज़ वैल्यू इन यूज़. यानी कि इस एसेट को यूज़ करके मुझे इतनी वैल्यू मिल रही है, दैट इज़ वैल्यू इन यूज़. हाउ टू डिटरमिन कैरिंग अमाउंट? वो बैलेंस शीट में दिया हुआ है. रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू, यू विल हैव टू फाइंड आउट कि अगर इसको बेचने के लिए जाएंगे तो कितना पैसा मिलेगा. वैल्यू इन यूज, हाउ विल यू फाइंड आउट द वैल्यू इन यूज? बाय यूजिंग द डिस्काउंटेड कैश फ्लो, बाय यूजिंग द डिस्काउंटेड कैश फ्लो. सो दिस इज फ्रेंड्स द इंडेक्स 36 इज ऑल अबाउट. इंडेक्स 36 का ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है ये और फाइनली समझ के लीजिए, सुन के लीजिए. इंडेक्स 36 का ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है that the balance sheet of the entity should reflect the fair value of the assets and liabilities. That is the objective not only of Index 36, it is the objective of all the 39 indices which are in force today in our country. तो हिंदुस्तान में उन कंपनियों के लिए जिनका कि नेटवर्थ 250 करोड़ के ऊपर है, उन सारी कंपनियों के लिए इंडेस इज मैंडेटरी, इंडेस इज कंपल्सरी. दे हैव टू प्रिपेयर द अकाउंट्स एज पर द इंडेस. एंड द एम एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ इंडेस इज दैट द बैलेंस शीट्स ऑफ द कंपनी should not reflect the historical value. Balance sheet of the company should reflect the fair value. Fair value meaning what? Fair value means almost what is the real value of those assets. So that is the objective of Index 36 and all the other indices. So if the balance sheet of a company has to reflect a fair value, that means all the assets also need to state the fair value. If all the assets have to show the fair value, will it be correct to show an asset at the historical price or at the carrying amount when the realizable value or value in use has gone down? And the answer is no. So you have to show an asset at the higher of value in use and the realizable value, and जो भी difference है between the carrying amount and the value in use or realizable value, you take that to P&L and debit to P&L. As a result of that, what happens? The asset, you don't show it now at 100 crore, you show it now at 70 crore. 70 crore today is the fair value of that asset, and this is the objective of Ind AS 36.